Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Kyle here with Family Firearm Reviews, and today we're going to check out the IWI Masada S. So this is the Masada Slim. It has a lot of the great features of the full-side Masada, but slimmed down to around the P365 XL size. As you can see, we've got a nice grip here and all this good stuff that we're going to go over. So the first thing I like to get into is the numbers. So let's dive right into those. So on our IWI Masada S, we have a 3.45 inch barrel. We have an overall length of 6.3 inches. We have a height right here with the mag in it of 4.9 inches. We have a width of 1.14 inches. We're running a 1 pound, 6.8 ounce weight. And you do get two steel mags that are 13+1. So you can get 14 rounds in this firearm when it's fully loaded and you get the magazine in there. It's very comfortable. It is a glass-filled nylon lower with some nice etching here. It is very comfortable when you do get it into your hand. So with that, let's get into the features. So when you get to your IWI Masada Slim, you do look, and when you put it in your hand, it is super comfortable to get it in there. I noticed the first thing when I picked this up at the store, it has a nice undercut here for the beaver tail. You can really get your hand high up. The grip, you can get a full grip on this even without the mag. And I know once you put the mag in, it feels a little more complete because you get a little kind of pinky rest, but the gun fits very comfortably in my hand. I probably have a medium-sized hand. It's not super big, but even if you had bigger hands, I think the undercut on the trigger guard here is really going to be great for you or someone like that. You do have a very generous trigger guard, so if you do wear gloves or something like that, you can easily get your finger in there, as you can see. And I was blown away by how comfortable and easy to manipulate the controls were on this. The downside is it is just set up for the right-handed person. You do have a swappable mag release, which is actually a metal mag release, which is kind of nice, so it's got a little bit of durability, but slide stop slide release here is only going to be on the right-handed side. It's not swappable, and I think they did that to keep down on the width of the firearm. It does have a set of, white dot in the front. It has kind of like that notched U in the rear, kind of like the Hellcats have. They are not tritiums or anything like that, or any night sights. But another great feature with this is it does come optics ready with the RMS shield cut right here, which means you can bolt it right to the firearm, and it's going to be able to let you co-witness. It's going to keep you a little bit lower in that firearm, giving you a little bit less profile if you are going to carry this with an optic, which is very, very good. Again, these sight picture's very nice. Has kind of that notched U in the rear, like the Hellcats would, and a front white dot. So they are metal sights, they are dovetailed, and they are swappable with any of the other Masada sights out there. Now, another thing is we have front and rear slide serrations that are easy to grip, and as you can see, they carry those serrations kind of down onto the frame. And kind of a downside though, there is no pick rail on this firearm. Now, it kind of looks like there's a notch for one, or maybe they thought about putting one, but there is no pick rail, so you can't put a light or laser on the front of this firearm. So if that's something that's going to be a drawback for you, I would definitely kind of nix this one. But I think it's going to be a really good firearm despite that. If you do look, we do have some kind of laser etch stippling, and it's not really aggressive. It's under the shield cut, 100% under the Smith & Wesson shield grip right there. It's not nearly as aggressive as that, but it is nice. You can feel it in there. I think if your hand was wet, you'd still be able to grip this pretty nicely. I think it would still be very comfortable, but again, carry guns, you don't want it real aggressive rubbing you all day. As you can see, there's no gap in the back here. The mags funnel in very easily, and they do pop right out. So in a combat situation, or if you're on the side, these mags are going to be able to be taken out very easily. They do shoot right out, so mag reload should be very easy on the range today. They do have little base plates here, kind of like a stripping cut. As you can see, there's a little V here, and on the magazine itself, it's got a little V shoulder, and at the bottom, there's a little cut here where you could rip it out if it does get stuck inside of there. It did come with two magazines. They are both 13 rounders, but it's really nice. It takes CZ75 mags, which we have a bunch of. So if you have 14, 17, 20 round CZ mags out there, you can run them with this also. It runs the same mags, so that's really nice. Mag availability is going to be everywhere for you, and I am a CZ fanboy, so I have tons of them. Something else that's really cool is this kind of went the way of the 320s, where the actual serialized part is the trigger grouping. Now, there are no other lowers out there at the moment, but you can pull this trigger grouping out and put it into a different lower if you wanted to have maybe something different that comes along. I know that, you know, P365 has a lot of different lowers out there. They're even coming out with aluminum ones. So maybe in the future, they'll have different lowers for the Masada Slim, or maybe that's coming up. But the serialized part is the trigger grouping, not the actual lower part of the frame. So that is something that's really neat, and I hope that they do come out with some different frames, give people some other options there. Now let's talk about this trigger. I was really impressed with this trigger kind of right out of the box. It's a very wide trigger, and it has a trigger safety only. There is no external safety, so if you're carrying this, it does have kind of a light trigger. I believe when I tested it, it was, what was I thinking? I think I just tested it 4.5 pounds, 4.5 pound trigger pull on this, and they do say on the website it's around 5 or 6 pounds, but I did it pretty consistent at around 4.5 pounds. Now you do have kind of a solid wall. Let me rack that slide back. Oh, not hitting the safety. A little bit of take up there. You can see all this take up. And then you're on a wall. It goes off. But then the reset. It's not very loud, not very tactile, but it's a really short reset. And then you're right on it solid. But again, not tactile, not real audible when you're out there. It's really light compared to some of the others. If you do go all the way out, you can see that travel. You've got to go through all that mush again. And first pull, you're going to have all that mush. There's a lot of mush on that first pull, a lot of take up, hit that wall. Again, super solid wall though. And a nice light trigger. I think that's going to be good out on the range. I'm not sure the 4.5 pound trigger is going to be great for concealed carry, but it is something there that we are going to have to, you know, test out. And I think that take up might throw some people off at the beginning. But again, if you train with this and this is going to be your carry, you're going to get really comfortable with the style of trigger and the style of firearm that you have out there. Again, no stippling up here for your kind of index fingers or anything like that. You do have kind of a takedown latch here. It does have a strange takedown, kind of disassembly. So if you guys want to see that, you're going to have to check out the link below. We've linked our kind of unboxing field strip of this firearm. But when you get your hand on there and you put your second hand, you could ride that takedown lever. Kind of does give you a nice spot for your hand. I think that that's going to be really nice for me today. It really gives you somewhere to index, kind of you can push down on the frame, really get good recoil control and handle some of that recoil impulse. So with that, let's get into the ammo. The ammo we're going to run today, we did get some aluminum cased Blazer 115, so we're going to see if this can take aluminum. We did get some 124 grain Winchester NATO, and then we do have a value pack of the 115 Remington, so we're going to pull 50 rounds out of this, and we'll run 50 rounds through another gun and see how it eats that style of ammo. We do have it run in conjunction with our sticky holster too, and it fits perfectly in there. Very comfortable. It does cover that trigger guard and everything like that. So we can use this. I'm going to draw it from concealed, see how it feels. Again, this is running around the 365 XL frame size, kind of that style. So that's the kind of length that you're going to be dealing with and width. Okay, so with that, let's get to the important stuff, get out to the range. So we're out here on the range with our IWI Masada S. So we're going to rack this, take our 3-shot accuracy test, and see how she goes. Not too bad, 2 touching, pushed 1 low, but what are you gonna do? So let's get a look at that target.
Hey guys, it's Lauren with Family Firearms. I'm gonna take an accuracy test with the Masada here. Now I've had my eye on one of these for a couple weeks, so I'm excited to shoot it and see how I do. All right, we'll take a look at that target.
So we've got the Masada out here, and we do have our CZ75 mag. Now I know they say they work online, but let's see if they function here. This is my 14 round from my CZ75D compact. Looks like they work to me. Flawless. So again, if you have CZ mags, CZ75 mags, do work in the Masada IWI. Now that we have our first 150 rounds in, let's get our final thoughts on these first shots. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the review. We're here with our IWI Masada Slim, and I really thought this was a comfortable handgun. It had a little bit more felt recoil than I was actually expecting.
Yes.
It was very kicky when you get it in there. It is a fairly light firearm, but when you're out shooting, it did have a lot of felt recoil. You can't really hear the trigger, which is something I thought you would be able to hear. So it wasn't loaded, but we'll go over that again. You know, you get that depressed. That tactile reset, it's not very loud when it resets. So I did over travel a couple times and have to go through that mush till I got comfortable. The accuracy though was great. I like the U with the white dot in the front. There's two little dots kind of in that sight picture, but they're not tritium or anything like that. They were just there kind of helping you line up. It was really easy to transition. I like the blacked out rear with the white front. That's kind of a sight picture that I like. And it was really easy to manipulate and rack. You could press check. It was a little tight at first, but as we went through the day, it feels like it broke in a little bit, got a little bit more comfortable in our hand. Again, it's only a right-handed firearm. What else I noticed was when the mags are fully loaded, you could insert them even with the slide forward with no issue. You know, sometimes you get those firearms where you really got to smack them, especially if your slides forward. So I think in a tactical situation, if you're going to tack reload, you know, you still have one in the chamber, you have a full mag going in, you're really going to have an easy time funneling those mags in, actually getting them to seat and click in without having to really smack the bottom of that firearm. Ergonomics were good. Again, nice high cut, especially with that extra felt recoil we had today. I think the ergonomics and the grip are really helpful. It was a super accurate gun, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I usually have a little bit more trouble with the guns that are meant to carry. They've got a little bit more power, there's a little more recoil, and I tend to struggle with those with my accuracy. Not with this. I shot very well. It was kicky, and that's something that I'll have to adjust to. But overall, for something coming straight out of the box, this was a green light for me. I said I've had my eye on one of these for a little while, so I was really happy to get it. And for me, something that stands out about this gun is there's just a touch of finesse. Everything that they've done with it, they've done very well. That U scoop on that sight in the back is really nice. It makes a difference. How smooth everything works, how everything's made is incredibly defined and very nice. It makes for a really, really quality firearm that maybe you don't see all those finishing and finesse touches with all the other brands. So that was something that stood out for me today.
Yeah, and this is a $400 to $450 firearm, so you're getting into the, you know, P365 XL firearm for a lower price, and you get a lot of nice features. Again, not ambi, but it is optics cut right there at that $450 mark, and it does come with the optic screws, so if you are going to run something on there, it's direct mount. You do have front slide serrations that are aggressive enough to grip. They're thicker at the top, they thin out a little bit at the bottom. The rear serrations are easy to grip, so if you do have an optic, you can rack it from the front of the firearm with no problems. I shot this one-handed, no problems. I shot this with gloves. We ran some drills with our, our Pitbull Tacticals, and we ran it with the sticky holster. All that ran great, and it felt really good. Now, again, there is no external safety, so that may defer some people because the trigger was only around 4.5 pounds, right? So it was a pretty light trigger on this firearm, especially for being a striker-fired, concealed carry. But other than that, it was great. I think if you really train with this, get comfortable with that trigger, you could definitely be a slayer with this thing. So we appreciate your time. Thanks for watching the review. Hope you liked it. Let us know. Check out the links below. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching our video. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
Comment below. We want to hear from you. Get more content for family firearm reviews by joining our Patreon and checking out the links in the description.